Okay, so in this lecture, we are going to discuss about the interior structure of Earth. So here we are supposed to discuss how the Earth's interior looks like and what are the various materials Earth interior portion is composed of and what all are the discontinuities present in various layers. So as here you can see it is the interior portion, though even though we can infer that we are going to study about the interior of Earth. Okay, as later on classes we will be discussing about the exterior part or the outer surface of the Earth also. Okay, then now here we can see what is the interior structure of the Earth. Yeah, we should know what is the interior structure of the Earth or what the Earth consists of actually. So we know that Earth consists of water, various plants, trees, everything, various gases, everything we know, but actually we don't know what is inside this thing. Okay, so now simply the image you can see it is just like an egg. Isn't it? For an egg we can see there will be a white part and there will be a yolk part also. So like that the interior structure of Earth is also divided into areas. Okay, depends upon various constituents and seismic waves which passes through all these layers. It's very important. So Earth's interior is made up of a series of layers. As we can see, this is layer 1, this is layer 2 and this is layer 3. That side below the surface of the crust. In order to in order of depth, these layers include the solid but flowing mantle, then the liquid outer core and the solid iron outer core. Helps create Earth's protective magnetic field. Yeah. So what are the portion? That is, there is a crust, there is a mantle, an outer core and inner core. These all are the parts of Earth interior structure. Okay. So Earth's interior may be divided into four parts. That is, there is a crust, there is a mantle, and there is a core. Mainly three: crust, mantle, and core. Okay. Crust is the outermost surface. Then from crust, next portion is mantle. Then mantle to the inner portion, that is the core region. Okay. Yes. Then here the Earth is divided into main three layers. That is the dense hot inner core, that is yellow color. Okay, just below here you can see this is inner core which is shown as yellow color. Then the molten outer core, here the molten core, this is light orange color you can see, that is the molten outer core. Then the mantle, the image as you can see the red color, the red portion is known as the mantle. Then the thin crust is very thin actually. Okay, so the outer surface, here you can see this one is the crust is actually the outer surface. This dark portion can be demarcated as the crust region and this red portion is known as mantle. Then this orange portion is known as the outer core and this yellow portion is known as the inner core. So all these are the parts of Earth interior structure. Okay, Earth's interior is generally divided into three. Then here you see this area. Yeah, and also you should have to know the Earth's radius is nothing but 6,378 kilometer. That is 6,378 kilometer. That is the radius of the Earth that you have to keep in mind. Okay, that much area only we can move. Okay. This 6,378 kilometers is further divided as crust, core, mantle regions. Okay. Then here is an image you can see. This will be the crust. This will be the crust region. So crust is visible here for you. Then below the crust there is a layer known as asthenosphere. We will be detailedly discussing about what is asthenosphere. Then here you see this is lithosphere. As we have already learned about lithosphere, it is nothing but the layer which is composed of various rocks, okay, or solid matter, that is known as lithosphere. Then from this crust to the core, here you can see the mantle region, that is up to 2,900 kilometers. Okay, that is crust region is actually up to 100 kilometers only. So the crust is very thin. Okay, only 0 to 100 kilometers you can see, up to only 100 kilometers this crust is present. Then from that to next 2,900 kilometers you can see the mantle region. You can see the mantle region. Then from this 2900 kilometers to this 5100 kilometers, the first outer core region is present. Then from this 5100 kilometers to 6378 kilometers, what we can observe is that the inner core. Okay, this is how it is being divided, depends upon the depth. Okay, so based on the depth, these things are being divided. Yeah. Then it consists of an outer silicate solid crust. Now it says about the composition of this crust, then mantle and core. So here you can see silicate minerals. As we know about the various silicate minerals are present in the crust. A highly viscous asthenosphere. Asthenosphere, it is nothing but a plastic state. It's a plastic stage or a plastic layer present in between this crust and this mantle region. So it consists of an outer silicate solid crust, a highly viscous asthenosphere, and a solid mantle, a liquid outer core whose flows generate the Earth magnetic field. So what is responsible for the Earth magnetic field? It is nothing but the liquid outer core. So remember that the core region is divided into two. Outer core is liquid and inner core is solid. Okay, only one portion or one layer of the Earth acts as liquid layer, that is the outer core. Okay, then inner core, of course, it is a solid material. Scientific understanding of the internal structure of Earth is based on observations. Yeah, then how scientifically we can say that the inner structure, it will be like this, it is like this, how we are inferring or how we are supposed to know about this thing? It is based on the various experiments and observations of what all things. First is topography. What all the topographic features are there? We were observing that. Next is bathymetry. Already we have discussed about the term bathymetry in the previous class. Then observations of rocks in outcrop. Various outcrops of various rocks. Then samples brought to the surface from greater depths by volcanoes or volcanic activity. Then what is next? Various volcanic activities or various volcanic processes which leads to all this thing. Then next is analysis of the seismic waves. How the seismic waves are transmitted to these various layers. It is very important. So from first layer to second layer to third layer, how this seismic waves are transmitted. Then next is measurement of the gravitational and magnetic field of the Earth. Finally, what is the gravitational field of the Earth and what is the magnetic field of the Earth? That is, here you can see the gravitational field and the magnetic field. Okay. Then experiments with the crystalline solid at pressure, that is to know the pressure and temperature of the interior area. Okay, so this all are the various parameters how we are defining the Earth's interior structure. Okay, that is based on the various experiments and observations. Then we need to know what all are the observations and experiments. So once again, topography, bathymetry, then next is observation of rock outcrop, then various samples brought to the surface from greater depth. Okay, either why the samples are moved to the surface, it is either because of the volcanoes or some volcanic activities. Okay, then analysis of the seismic waves that passes through the Earth, that is also important. Then measurements of the gravitational and magnetic fields of Earth, how we are measuring this gravitational as well as the magnetic field of Earth. Then experiments with the crystalline solids at pressure, temperature, characteristics of Earth's deep interior. Okay, so all these are the various parameters which we are used for distinguishing the interior structure of Earth. Yes. Now we need to detailed study about each layer. Okay, we need to know something about each layer, what it is composed of, how much depth usually it will be, like that. Okay, so first layer of the Earth is crust, as we have already said. The Earth's crust ranges from 5 to 70 kilometers. Yeah, as we have already said, maximum extension of this crustal area is up to 100 kilometers. Okay, crust portion is very less and maximum extension of this crust region, it is just only 100 kilometers. Then the thin part are the oceanic crust. Okay, again the crust is divided into two types. Okay, this crust is divided into two types. One is oceanic. One is oceanic crust. One is oceanic crust that here you can see, and the other type is continental. That is continental crust. Continental crust. Okay, so there are, here you can see the continental crust. So crust area, it is almost 50 to 70 kilometers, and the crust area, it should be, or it will be inside maximum 100 kilometers. Okay, it can only be maximum 100 kilometers. Okay, here it is the crust area, it can only be maximum 100 kilometers. Among that, it is divided into two, that is oceanic crust and continental crust. Then the thin parts are the oceanic crust. Okay, again the thin portion is the oceanic crust, while underlie the ocean basin. Okay, so ocean basin, that is, then the oceanic crust, what is the thickness of this oceanic crust? It is nothing but 5 to 10 kilometers. The oceanic crust, that is, when we talk about the interior portion of the earth, as we know, the thin parts of this oceanic crust which underlie the ocean basin, it is the underlying part of the ocean basin, that is 5 to 10 kilometers. Only 5 to 10 kilometers thickness is only there for the oceanic crust, and are composed of dense iron, magnesium, silicate, igneous rocks. Okay, then what is the main rock type? Then we should know what is the main rock type of this crustal region. It is nothing but mafic minerals. We can say mafic minerals, that is igneous rock. We are able to see iron, magnesium, silicate, igneous rocks are present. So one example is given for you, like basalt. Okay, basalt is an example of rock which is seen in the oceanic crust region. Okay, so oceanic crust, it underlies the ocean basin, and the depth is 5 to 10 kilometer. Then what is the composition? There will be mafic composition, that is iron, magnesium, silicate, igneous rocks are present in the oceanic crust. Then what type of rock? Give an example, that is basalt. Basalt is an example of rock present in the oceanic crust. Okay, then second type of crust is continental crust, as we have said, the thicker part. Okay, among the crust region, the thicker part is known as the continental crust region, which is less dense and composed of felsic component. That is, as we have said, the oceanic portion is very dense portion, but compared to this oceanic region, the continental region is somewhat not so dense. Okay, it is less dense, and here the composition changes. Okay, here the composition is of felsic nature, that is sodium, potassium, aluminium, silicate, rock. Okay, what are the composition? Sodium, potassium, aluminium, silicate, rocks are present in the crust region. So now an example for such rock is granite. Granite is an example of this felsic rock. Okay, so in oceanic region, mafic rocks are present. So for example, basalt. Then in this continental region, that is the crust region, it extends up to 70 kilometers. Maximum thickness of this this entire crust is 100 kilometers. Okay, so rest of the portion is continental crust. Then it is of felsic composition, that is sodium, potassium, aluminium, silicate. Okay, so see here, various sodium, potassium, aluminium, silicate rocks. Okay, an example is given as granite for continental crust, that is of felsic composition, and basalt is of mafic composition. Okay, the rocks of the crust falls into two major categories. Okay, then again we can compare, or we can categorize the rocks present in the crustal region is divided into two, that is sial and sima. Okay, sial and sima in the sense, here it is nothing but silicate aluminium rich rock. Okay, that is sial. Sima in the sense silicate magnesium rich rock. So it is sial and sima. Okay, yes. So all these are the things, that is the depth region is given, types of crust is given, then types of crust, composition is given. Then mainly we can classify this crust region into Cr and Cma, that is silicon, aluminium and silicate, magnesium. Yeah. Now the uppermost mantle together with the crust constitute the lithosphere. Then as we know there is a layer known as lithosphere. Okay. So how it come? That is the uppermost mantle together with the crust contains the lithosphere. I think from the image you can see. You can see here upper mantle is there, then the lower mantle, core. Okay, here the crust region is present. Lithosphere, it is the layer present in between this. Okay. The crust mantle boundary occurs at two physically different events. Yeah. So the crust and mantle, the differentiation of this crust and mantle is very important. There is a discontinuity in the seismic velocity which is most commonly known as Mohorovic discontinuity or MOHO. Simply it is Mohorovic discontinuity or simply we can call it as MOHO. So it is a discontinuity present in between the crust region and the mantle region. Okay, it is the boundary which separates the crust and the mantle. That is the crust and the mantle is being separated with using this Mohorovic discontinuity or simply it is known as the MOHO. Okay. The cause of the MOHO is thought to be a change in the rock composition from rocks containing plagioclase feldspar to rocks that contains no feldspar. Yeah, so why or what is the main thing about this Mohorovic discontinuity? It is nothing but the composition of the rocks present above this discontinuity and below this discontinuity. Okay, so above this discontinuity we can see rocks containing plagioclase feldspar. Okay, rocks containing plagioclase feldspar is present above this Mohorovic discontinuity, and below this Mohorovic discontinuity we are able to see the rocks which are not. Okay, in particular rock there is no presence of feldspar. Okay, so the cause of this MOHO is thought to be a change in rock composition. The composition of the rock is being changed from above portion it is having plagioclase feldspar and the below portion there is no plagioclase present there. That is the first thing. Then second thing, in oceanic crust there is a chemical discontinuity between ultramafic cumulates and tectonized harbourgrates. Okay, so this harbourgrates is a kind of rock that is tectonified rock and the ultramafic cumulates are also present, which has been observed from deep parts of the oceanic crust that have been abducted onto the continental crust and preserved on ophiolite sequence. So in this portion there will be able to study or will be able to learn about the ophiolite sequences also. Okay, ophiolite sequences is also able to depict from this images. Okay, now images. Here you can see the oceanic crust that we have said, then the continental crust region also you can see. Then now you see there is a boundary which separates. Okay, everything is clearly depicted here. There is a boundary which separates this crust portion and the mantle portion, that is Mohorovic discontinuity. Okay, that much thing that we have discussed so far. Yes.